Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Cheers podcast. I'm your host, Avery Woods. And as you can tell, if you're watching me, I apologize in advance for my physical appearance, but I did get a nose job 5 days ago, and we're here to talk about that. I'm just really tired of people in this industry not being transparent, and we all know I'm an open book. So I did a Q&A on Instagram to have you guys ask me any questions you want about my nose job or any other plastic surgery, and we're here to talk about it. Number one question is how much it costs. How's sex since the surgery? Is any of this covered by insurance for surgery? Just curious, love you. A lot of questions asking about the pain and recovery in general, so we'll talk all about that. How soon after surgery did you guys hit it? That's so funny. Someone asked, what's that black shit in your nose? Why you guys all asking questions about butt sex? This is about nose, okay? We could do a saucy episode next time. Calm down. Hi, welcome to Cheers. I'm your host, Avery Woods. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Cheers podcast. I'm your host, Avery Woods. And as you can tell, if you're watching me, I apologize in advance for my physical appearance, but I did get a nose job 5 days ago, and we're here to talk about that. Also, if you're just listening, I'm sorry I sound so nasally and congested. I have a bunch of shit up my nose that's holding my nostrils open. It is not very comfortable, and it's really hard to talk and breathe out of my nose. So I am a mouth breather, so I am so sorry about that. But I'm just really tired of people in this industry not being transparent, and we all know I'm an open book. So I did a Q&A on Instagram to have you guys ask me any questions you want about my nose job or any other plastic surgery, and we're here to talk about it. I just feel like in this industry, people are very secretive, I guess is the right word, about the work that they get done. And I feel like that's because it comes with judgment. No matter what you talk about, you'll be judged. And it's kind of like, do I not talk about it and not lie, but people assume I'm lying because I'm not being honest? Or do I talk about it and then I get called fake or plastic? Obviously, with a nose job, it's the center of my face. I'm on social media every single day. So even if I pre-filmed all my content, I couldn't just pop up one day and have a brand new nose. So I'm obviously going to talk about what I got done and all the details to hopefully help any of you guys that are interested in getting a rhinoplasty or anyone that's just curious in general. I feel like, and I've talked about this before, but I feel like when it comes to getting work done, plastic surgery, that sort of thing, it's a double-edged sword. It's a lose-lose situation. You can not talk about the work that you get done, but it can be kind of obvious, or people just assume that you got work done because you put a lot of effort into your physical and mental health, and then they call you a liar because you're not being honest. Or if you do talk about it, then you're automatically fake, or money can buy you good looks or a nice body. So I'm just at the point in life where I don't really give a fuck anymore what people have to say about me. I'm sure you guys kind of noticed that from my episode about the Wicked premiere and the pajama launch. I just don't care. And it's a very freeing feeling because the more I would fight haters and try to change things that I did because the things that I did pissed people off so bad, the more miserable I was because I was forming into someone that wasn't me. And I don't like that. I've always told myself I was going to stay true to myself, whether that gains a lot of hate or not. At least I know I'm authentically 100% myself. And if you meet me in person, you would know that. So, anywho says, let's talk rhinoplasty. When I was 15 years old, you guys know I played volleyball the majority of my life. And I'll never forget on this particular day, I was 15. I think I was a freshman or a sophomore, and I was sitting on the bleachers doing my homework because I was a nerd. I got good grades. And I remember looking down, doing my homework, and a teammate I played with sat right next to me, and she was looking at me from the side, like right on my side profile. And she was like, "Oh, you have like a pretty huge bump on your nose." And I was like, "Oh, do I?" Like, I literally had no idea. I was 15, never even noticed it, was never something that obviously bothered me because I didn't even know it existed. My grandma on my mom's side, my mom, my sister, and myself all have the same noses. We all have that like Italian bump with a protruding tip. And my mom never talked about ever wanting to change her nose. I actually found out just a couple weeks ago my grandma had a rhinoplasty. I didn't even know that. My mom never told me that. I was like, oh. But my sister had always talked about wanting to get a nose job, and so she does non-surgical nose jobs. And I remember getting up from the bleachers and looking in the mirror on the side of my face, and I was like, "Oh, I do have a bump on my nose." Like, that's not really something I noticed before. And then from then on out, it's all I noticed about my face was my nose. And it was something I could ignore for quite a while, to be honest. And honestly, was never something that I ever expected to be able to do because we didn't have a lot of money. But one thing social media does is it definitely makes you stare at your physical appearance a lot more than a normal person, which is not healthy in any way, shape, or form. I also think it's different for me because a lot of people in social media hire out editors and people that will edit and post their content for them. I do everything 100% on my own. The only employee I have is Scott, and that's regarding the podcast. So, all of my content that you see, I film myself, I edit myself, I post myself. So, I'm posting at least 3 times a day, if not more. And you have to understand, I am just constantly looking at myself at every angle, every light, without makeup, with makeup, early in the morning, late at night, like just sometimes the most atrocious angles. And it gets to a point where, of course, you'll never be 100% happy, right? The grass is always greener. But it was something that I always remember saying, if I could do one thing, it would be to fix my nose. And not fix my nose, I shouldn't say that. My nose was great the way it was. It worked well, I breathed fine, I didn't have any medical issues. It was 100% cosmetic. But I would just always look at either women in my life that had that perfect, cute little swoop button nose or girls on Pinterest. And I was like, oh, I would love to be able to take like a cute little side profile photo. Like every time I like show my earrings or something, I'm like, oh my God, if only I had a different nose. And like I said, I was 15 when it was first brought to my attention, and I'm turning 30 this year. And I was like, you know what? I really want to do this for me. And also, I have so many exciting things coming up in my career, which I'm so, so excited and grateful for. And I just want to feel my best. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And also in 2026, which is a year and a half down the road, we have our vow renewal. And you guys know we never had a wedding, and that's something that I'm really excited for because we got married in a courthouse for 75 bucks. I want to plan a vow renewal. I want it to be everything I've ever dreamed of and more, and have the pretty, 2 to 3 dresses and all my people around me that I love and my dream photos and videos because I never got that moment with my husband. And a nose job can take up to a year for the swelling to go down, and so I wanted to give myself and my body enough time to heal so that when that time does come, I'm really excited and happy, and I love the way that I look because I just feel like I deserve it, and I worked really hard, and I'm so grateful to be able to do this for myself. And also around the holidays, obviously, it's really busy with social media and ads, and a lot of people are throwing stuff at you to buy, and I get it. But that is part of our job, but it also means that we are kind of slowing down the travel right now because 'cause I'm home doing a lot of work at home for the holidays and home with my kids for the holidays. And I was like, if I wait until the new year, it's gonna be really hard to find a time to get this procedure because obviously, like, look at my face. I'm out of commission. Okay. I can't be filming these ads with skincare and makeup brands and doing try on hauls and not distract people from what my face looks like. And obviously, I have tons of bruising and swelling and shit up my nose. I can't even talk normal. So it just kind of felt like the right moment. The doctor I went with had a cancellation, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're doing it. So I did it. And by the time I did my consult, I had my surgery within, I think, 2.5, 3 weeks. So it was very fast. But I went to the surgeon that I knew I wanted, which is Dr. Starkman, for those asking. I also want to make a disclaimer. I paid 100% in full as a fully paying client, customer, patient. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the right word, I guess. All of the above. I did the same with my boobs, and people always think that I got my tits for free because I talk about it a lot. No, I just love my results and I love sharing the people that helped me get there, which was my doctor. So I am at the point in my career where I don't like to accept a lot of things for free. Actually, most things I pay in full, I would say. And if people try to give it to me for free, the people in the service industry that work with me can attest that I refuse and I will always pay. And if they don't accept, then I will tip them the amount plus some of what they charge because I want to support their business. And also, I now have the financial ability to do that. And I don't want to come off fake to my audience and promote things that I just don't use or get free product from people or a free service just because it's free. I want to go to people that I believe are the best in the of the best and people that I love and support their work and I think that they deserve it. And that's kind of how I went about my nose as well. So, Dr. Starkman is in Scottsdale and he only does two surgeries. He does rhinoplasties and facelifts. The only time I've ever seen people have issues with rhinoplasties is if they go to a surgeon that does not specialize in rhinoplasties. They're going to a general plastic surgeon. A general plastic surgeon is, in my opinion, not the best person to go to for a rhinoplasty because it's a lot more complicated. And one thing I love about Miha Khan, who did my boobs, love her so much, is when I considered getting a rhino, maybe 6 months ago, I texted her and she was like, "Yeah, I don't touch noses. I'm not touching your nose. You need to go to a specialty doctor." My doctor specializes in rhinoplasties, and I really admired her for saying that because she could have immediately been like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." Gotten money, gotten promotion out of me for talking about it. But I really respect that she was like, "No, that's not my realm, but here are some options." So, Dr. Starkman came up and I looked at his work on his website. I looked at his work on Instagram and I just loved the results. And what I loved was he really crafts it to the person's face and their features, which is what you need to look for because you don't want to put the same nose on everyone's face. It's not going to fit everyone. Everyone's noses should look different in retrospect to what their face shape is. And when I met with him, I loved his vibe. He was so chill. He actually had a software that he took my before photos straight on and my side profile, and he had an editing software where he could show you a mock-up of what your nose would look like. And so I kind of talked to him about what I wanted. I said, I don't like that from the front you can see my bump. It sticks out a lot right on the bridge. Even the best celebrity makeup artists in the world that I've worked with for red carpets, events, all the things, there is not enough contour on this planet that could hide that bump, okay? Because it stuck out so much. And so I was like, from the front, not a lot bothers me, just a little bit on the sides I wanted gone. From the side is what I really wanted to focus on, and that was shortening the tip because apparently the tip of your nose is supposed to like be in line with your chin, which mine stuck out about a mile past that. So really took care of that. So he shortened the tip, he lifted it because the tip of my nose kind of drooped down a little bit and I didn't like that. I also didn't like that when I talked, which again, every time I edited a get ready with me or a vlog or something, it always like moved downwards and I was like, that fucking pisses me off. And then I also obviously the biggest thing was the bump from the side. So I really wanted that like really cute little swoop of a bridge, a little bit of a raised tip, and not like a teeny tiny button nose where it looks like I can't breathe like Michael Jackson. I want it to be on the more natural side, but there were certain tweaks and I loved when he did like the rendition mock-up situation on that software. I loved how it looked. And he's like, this is like 90% accurate of what it's going to look like. And obviously, I won't know until I go in there, but this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? And I was like, I'm fucking obsessed. I literally paid for it in full that day and booked my surgery and was in the books. So then on Monday, which was 5 days ago, I went in at 6 in the morning and I got my nose done. And honestly, it was so smooth, so seamless. I pre-opt for about an hour. I vlogged the whole thing on TikTok, by the way, if you're curious. I vlogged as much as I could, literally from the time I woke up until I went to sleep. Just a very honest, real recovery. I don't want to sugarcoat that kind of stuff because, and honestly, I was kind of doing research on nose jobs. I didn't see a lot of people document that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to help anyone out there that was interested in getting a rhinoplasty. But they started my IV. We kind of talked about what to expect. I changed my clothes, went in the OR, anesthesia, pushed that propofol, and I was out. I think the procedure took about an hour and a half, 2 hours. David picked me up. I went home, went to bed. It was so easy. Dr. Starkman actually called me that night, which I really appreciated. I love when surgeons check in like that. It's very personal, which I like because I feel like some of them kind of just take your money and run. They're like, good luck. See you when you get your cast off. But he called me that night. He was like, I talked to you, but you were kind of out of it on anesthesia, but I want to let you know everything went perfect. Literally couldn't have gone better. It looks amazing. I think you're going to be so happy with the results. I'll see you on Monday to get your cast off. And I said, sounds great. So I'm so excited to see. It's crazy that I've had my surgery 5 days ago. Like with my boobs, you kind of like know right away. Like you kind of see your cleavage and see kind of like the size. I have no idea what the fuck my nose looks like. So I'm really excited to see. Cast comes off in 2 days. And of course, I'm going to vlog it because why not? It's my new nose. But, he said the tip of my nose will kinda be sticking up for about 2 weeks, so it takes 2 weeks for it to kinda drop just because all of this tape has been kinda, like, pushing it upwards, and then he said swelling takes up to a full year to go down, which is crazy. But the nurse that pre-oped me, she was so sweet. She got her nose done by him 10 weeks ago. And I was like, girl, you have my dream nose. And she's like, this is 10 weeks old. It looked insane. So if it takes up to a year for my swelling to go down, I'd be happy with the 10-week result that girl had. So I'm really excited. And I'm glad I did it when I did it. I just needed to rip the Band-Aid off because it was something that I always wanted. So excited to see. I have a bunch of shit on my face. I have this like hard cast that is kind of like keeping the shape of my nose with a bunch of tape. And then the most irritating part, everyone thinks this clear thing is to keep my septum piercing in place. My septum is out. I took it out. I actually only got my septum pierced to distract from my nose because I hated my nose so much. So we took that bitch out because I got a new perfect nose and I'm not about to pierce it again. Okay. This clear thing is holding two tubes that go all the way up my nose. Yes, you heard that correctly, and they're keeping the shape of my nostrils because something that also happens with nose jobs is collapsed nostrils where they don't keep the shape. And that's what a lot of the issues I've seen from some of my friends that have gotten multiple rhinoplasties because they've had to get them redone because they went to a general the first time is they had collapsed nostrils. And I was like, I'm not gonna risk it. And I know a general can be a bit cheaper, but I just, I'm very fortunate where I didn't have to worry about that. I paid a little bit extra, which we'll talk about all the price, everything, I promise. Just to get it done the right time first, because I was not about to redo this. Hopefully, knock on wood, knocking on wood. But yeah, they keep that in for a week, so they'll take it out on Monday. I'm so excited. I have so much like crusted blood and shit in my nose. It's honestly disgusting, and the nurse in me wants to like swab out my nose so bad to clean it out. But I have sutures somewhere in my nostrils and I don't want to touch them. I don't know where they are. I don't want to fuck anything up. I'm not like trying to take that over. I am not a plastic surgeon. And I also have never worked in plastics. I worked in pediatrics, so I've never like messed with a nose job before. So I'm just letting the crusty dusty stay until he takes all of that shit out and then hopefully I can kind of clean out my nose a little bit. But anyways, enough with the yapping. I asked you guys if you had questions on Instagram and I got a shit ton. So let's go through what questions you guys want answered about plastic surgery and my nose job. Number one question is how much it costs. My nose job with taxes and everything was 14,300 and something. I don't know the last two numbers, maybe like 350. So when I first did my consult, they gave me a range. They said rhinoplasties at this office are between 14 and $17,000. 17 is the highest, and he said that has to do if you have like breathing issues, deviated septum, if you're getting a repair, like if someone had botched your nose and he has to like take cartilage from the back of the ear and kind of like fix some mistake that's another surgeon did. Mine was strictly cosmetic. I don't have any breathing issues, so mine was the lowest totem pole. What I thought was crazy was that shows how complex noses are because my boob job and lift, so two separate procedures was the same cost. It cost me $14,400. So that to me is crazy because my boob implants were like 9 and my lift was like 5. So, but again, noses are very complicated. It's the middle of your face. There's a shit ton of nerve endings, and it needs to be a specialty doc. I think he did like an extra 4 years residency just on noses when I did my research on him. So to me, it's worth it, way worth the money. I know people that have paid like 11 and 12 at a general and are not happy with the results. So I would rather pay an extra 2,000 than to A, have to get a second surgery, and B, pay for another surgery, pay like pretty much double. So I was happy. It was kind of the range that I expected. But when they told me 14 to 17, I was like, oh, mine's probably like 15, 16. And they told me mine was the lowest. So I was happy. One thing that they did do that I forgot to talk about is they make you kind of put your head up and do these like breathing inhalations to make sure that you don't have certain collapsed nostril or like a weird breathing thing. So they can kind of see that. And they also take photos of it. And then he did that at my pre-op appointment to kind of examine to make sure there were any surprises when he opened me up. So, house sex since the surgery? Haven't had it. Honestly, I'm terrified. I can't even bend. Actually, I'm not supposed to be bending over. I've been kind of squatting down because so much pressure is in my face. So I said, I'm sorry, I can't be face down, ass up. Okay. Not right now. Not right now. So we'll see when I get the cast off. I feel like there's just a lot of pressure because it's all being held in. But I'm also not supposed to be picking up the kids. So I haven't picked up the kids since before I got my surgery. I tried to pick up Stevie one time because she was sick and David yelled at me. He was like, put her down. You should not be carrying her. So David has really taken the load this week. I'm so grateful for him. People are asking about my lipo procedure. They thought that I got that with my boob job. I did not. And honestly, people are also asking about plastic surgery regrets. I regret getting that so much. I'm not going to lie to you. I think I got it because I was really unhappy with my postpartum body and I had the option to get it for free at the med spa that I worked at the time. And no hate at all to the med spa because I love them so much and they're the greatest people. The doctor I went to did not stitch me up correctly and he left me with awful scars. And I think I just didn't give myself enough grace when it came to postpartum. And it made me really sad that I felt the need to do that because I will be so honest with you. I did not see results in my body until probably a year post lipo. And that was 100% because I made a lifestyle change. Had nothing to do with getting liposuction. I One thing about me is I hold on to every fucking pound of weight when I breastfeed. So when I have my babies, that weight ain't going nowhere until I finish breastfeeding. But I'm also not going to stop breastfeeding just to make myself look better. So I breastfed Stevie for 14 months. And then as soon as I was done breastfeeding, I was like, I need to get liposuction. And again, it was offered to me for free. So I said, yeah. And I shouldn't have done that. I did it in like my lower abdominal section, kind of above my C-section shelf, because that was what really bothered me because I had a ton of like built up scar tissue. But to be honest, it's still there. There's not a lot of difference. I feel like there's certain parts on like the left side of my belly button that kind of like has a lump. To be honest with you, I'm probably gonna have to get a revision, which really bums me out because I don't want a tummy tuck. I've never wanted a tummy tuck. I really embrace my loose skin and I feel really lucky where I didn't have a lot of stretch marks. I don't have diastasis recti, but there are certain parts like in my love handles back here because I didn't want a 360 lipo. There's like parts that are almost bigger, almost like muffin top, but higher back here that I don't like. And again, he was like, I'm not going to stitch up your scars on your back because you need to drain out. Shouldn't have done that because now I have these awful scars. And I've actually been going to my old med spa that did it. They've been doing Morpheus on it for me to try to heal my scars because my scars are so bad. They're like deep purple. They make me feel so insecure and I'm so mad at myself that I did that, but I just shouldn't have done it on a whim. And I think a mix between like postpartum hormones, body insecurity, just confidence issues. I just didn't feel like myself. And I feel like when you work in a place like social media and then also at a med spa, when everyone's getting all this work done, you kind of feel pressured to look a certain way. And I'm mad at myself for doing that. But can't take it back. It already happened. I actually texted my plastic surgeon, Miha, the one that did my boobs, about my scars. And she's like, well, we could try to do a scar revision, like where basically she cuts my scars out and kind of like sews them back up the correct way because she is a board certified plastic surgeon. She knows what she's doing when it comes to that. So that might be something that I might explore after I'm done with my Morpheus treatments if I'm not where I want to be. But yeah, I just don't want a hip to hip scar with a tummy tuck. And I know there's so many women out there that got their tummy tucks, and I'm so happy for them because the results look so great. But there are a lot of things that come with pregnancy that diet and exercise just don't fix. And I feel like I'm really lucky where my skin retention elasticity was actually really good. And so I don't feel the need to get that done and have that hip to hip scar, especially because I'm always in a bathing suit and I already have my C-section scar. I also don't want that like teeny tiny tummy tuck belly button. And I know there are a lot of surgeons that actually kick ass, and there are some tummy tucks that I would never even know they had that belly button. But yeah, I just wish that I didn't get the lipo. I really regret doing that. But you know what? Here we are. I'm such an open book, and I think that's what bothers me so much is when I'll talk about the fact that I'm proud of myself for making a lifestyle change and a diet change and going to Pilates 5 days a week. And I'll get comments from people like, be so fucking for real. It's because you got lipo. Bitch, I got lipo like 3 years ago. I didn't make a change in my body. What, Scott, till like a year ago, maybe? Like, I would be honest. I would be honest and be like, fuck yeah, I look like this because I got lipo. No, because the rest of my body that's been untouched has never been more toned in my life. And that is because I made a lifestyle change. And I think that in combination with getting plastic surgery on areas that you can't fix with a lifestyle change is what makes the biggest difference and what makes it look so natural. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on the lipo situation. There's like certain parts that are starting to really eat at me, but I also don't want to touch anything if it's not necessary. And that's why I love my surgeon that did my boobs, is because she's very honest with me. And actually, when I got my boobs done, she was the one that was like, you don't need anything else done. Like, I'm not doing lipo on you because you don't need it. And I love that she's like that because there are a lot of plastic surgeons that will want to do every fucking nip and tuck you could ever think of because they want the money and the clout. And I just don't agree with that. So, is any of this covered by insurance for surgery? Just curious. Love you. Love you back. Not for me because mine was 100% cosmetic, so I had to pay in full, which I'm fine with that. Okay. But if people do have deviated septum issues or breathing problems, then I have heard that insurance can reimburse you at least part of it. I didn't have that option because I didn't want it for any other reason than to look hotter. So, did you dissolve your upper lip filler for this? Oh, I dissolved my upper lip filler like over a year ago, I think. It's been a long time. I haven't gotten filler in my lips in so long. And the last time I did anything to my lips was to fully dissolve them. So, currently, I maybe have like point 0.3 of a syringe left, but it's been so long I have not touched my lips, and I'm fine with that. I don't want them to be so big that I start getting loose skin. I've seen what happens when people put a shit ton of filler on their face and then they lose elasticity and it's almost like droopy. I don't want to do that. So I ain't fucking around with my face like that. A lot of questions asking about the pain and recovery in general, so we'll talk all about that. My surgeon told me it's a painless recovery, and I literally was like, okay, yeah, fuck off. It's the center of my face. No, he wasn't lying. Honestly, you guys, I have been so surprised. I had so many people text me, just wait till day two, just wait till day three, like trying to scare me almost, which I'm kind of like, I wouldn't do that to someone. I don't want to scare them. You know what I'm saying? Like when people tell me that they are having a C-section, I'm like, you're gonna do amazing. Here are things that help me. I would never be like, it was fucking awful. Be terrified for your life. No, of course not. So I was really scared because I had so many people in my ear like, it's the worst. Just be prepared. I feel like that's if you go to a surgeon that A isn't gentle and B doesn't specialize in noses. This has been a painless recovery for me, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Also, I have not taken any narcotics at all. I've only taken Tylenol and then my methylpred, which is a steroid for swelling and inflammation, and then my antibiotics. and then a probiotic to help keep me on schedule with pooping because anesthesia always constipates me. But honestly, the worst part about it is the pressure almost in your nose. And then me, I just feel overstimulated with the shit on my face. Like I'm so excited for it to be gone. I'm almost like used to it at this point, and then I remember it's there and I'm like, "Oh my God, take it off." So that to me has been the hardest part. Oh, the other thing is sleeping. Sleeping has been really difficult for me. I have to sleep sitting up, which I've already experienced with my boob lift. I sat in a recliner when I got my boobs done for like 3 weeks. This time we have a sleep number bed, so David kind of lifted the head of the bed up and then stacked 2 pillows under my shoulder blades, and then I got this special nose job pillow because one thing about me, I'm a side sleeper. I wanna roll up in a ball and sleep on my side, my right side in particular. Can't do that. You gotta sleep on your back like a fucking mummy, propped up, and I can't turn my head to the side. Who sleeps like that? Not me. And when I sleep, I, like, pass the fuck out, and I was scared I was gonna turn on my side and, like, fuck up my nose, I don't know. So I got this pillow on Amazon, and it's a nose job pillow, and it's flat, and then it has 2 little humps on the side that kind of frame your face on the side, so I can't really turn my head, and it has, like, a cooling texture. Love it. That was the best $70 I've ever spent in my life, because 'cause I'm pretty sure I can't sleep on my side for quite a while. I don't know how long I'm supposed to sleep sitting up. I'm gonna ask him on Monday when I get my cast taken off. The other thing too is not being able to take gummies to go to sleep because, gummies will make you bruise. Obviously, I stopped drinking, so I haven't been drinking, and that will also increase bruising, but that's been hard for me because the reason I take gummies, as you guys know, is because I have insomnia. It's so fucking hard for me to go to sleep because my mind is always reeling, and then the other thing with sleeping is I can't really breathe out of my nose because of all the shit inside of it, so I have to be a mouth breather. On top of being a mouth breather, I'm sitting up, so naturally by gravity, my chin is dropping and I'm breathing out of my mouth. And every hour, probably, I'm sitting up and chugging water. I'm going through a whole tumbler and a half probably at night because my mouth is so dry. It's disgusting. Like last night, Stevie woke up in the middle of the night and David was up with her, and I jump up and I was like, "Is everything okay?" I couldn't even talk because my tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth. It was disgusting. Ugh. And so I immediately have to brush my teeth and scrub my tongue in the morning because it just is so gross. So that's been hard for me, but worth a new nose, the fuck? Are you kidding me? Worth it to be fabulous. But yeah, as far as pain, I will say as a disclaimer, I do have a very high pain tolerance. I don't know why I've always been like that. I am a weirdo. I'm a weirdo. I am part Superman, not Superwoman, because I have a massive penis. uh I'm just fucking around. I'm in a silly goofy mood now. But even with my C-sections, I only took Tylenol and ibuprofen and I was fine. I'm not saying I wasn't in pain, but with my nose, I really expected it to be way more sensitive. And it really hasn't. And he told me, he's like, the most complaint I get is a bit of a burning sensation around where your sutures are. I've not even felt that at all. So the hardest part is the cast, the shit in my nostrils, and the sleeping situation, which all in all, for having such a major surgery, that's not bad. I'll take that. How soon after surgery did you guys hit it? Not yet. That's so funny. Everyone's like, "So fuck the nose, how's the sex?" Everyone's asking if I have any regrets. I can't even answer that until I see my nose, I think, but right now, hell no. I am so happy I did it, and I was told 2 things by people that got nose jobs. Number 1, don't go to a general plastic surgeon. Number 2, the only regret I have with getting a nose job is not getting it sooner, and I totally feel that. But I just didn't have an option to get it sooner because A, we couldn't afford it, and then B, my life was like snowballing so crazy and fast that I was always traveling on a trip, doing a brand deal, doing a collab, doing some crazy shit, and I just didn't have time to have downtime. And so this was the right moment for me, and I'm honestly so euphoric about it. I'm so excited. I'm proud of myself for doing it. I'm proud of myself for just like not giving a fuck and getting it done because everyone always got some shit to say, and I'm over it. I did this 100% for me, and David was really sweet and supportive because he's like, I love your nose. I fell in love with that nose. That's the nose I've been looking at for 10 years at every angle you could possibly imagine. That sounded dirty, but it's fine. True, but, he's like, "But I also know that in the last 10 years, you have talked about wanting to get your nose done, literally for 10 years." And he's like, "Anything that makes you happy and more confident makes me happy, and you deserve to get it done." And that's the kind of spousal support that everyone needs because it's so true. I feel like a lot of husbands especially will shame their wives for wanting to get work done, and it's not about them, and I think it's like they almost try to steal the thunder, like it's about them and what they see. It has nothing to do with that. It should be about the person getting the surgery done. I didn't get this for anyone but myself, and that's kind of what I teach my kids, and I had a lot of people ask about, how do I teach body positivity with my 4 kids while I get work done? And there are certain things that are hard to fix or impossible to fix, like my nose, that have always eaten at me, but I still loved my nose and I still thought I was beautiful. It was never a lack of confidence, as I'm sure the world knows. I'm probably the most confident person of all time. And you know what? Slay, as I should be, as all of you should be, fucking kings and queens. But I also want them to know that there's nothing wrong with doing something that you've always wanted, or maybe not fixing, but enhancing something that's bothered you, for you not to live your full potential, most confident self. And I will always support my kids in those decisions. And I also want to teach them that if it makes you happy, then that's all that matters. That is point blank, period. That's all that matters. Someone asked, "What's that black shit in your nose?" Well, the black shit is dried crusted blood. The first 48 hours, you have nosebleeds, which are very common. It could be anywhere from like a trickle to a gush. That's why I had that Band-Aid mustache, as Ziggy called it. I would Band-Aid gauze across my upper lip because it was just like constantly flowing down. I wasn't trying to eat my own blood. That's gross. So all of that just like crusting inside, nasty. I've tried to like clean it up as much as I can, but there's only so much I can do, and again, I don't wanna fuck around with the stitches, I'm not a surgeon. And then the black kind of plastic looking things are tubes, and they're being held together by this clear little ring that's almost like a silicone situation. Everyone thinks it's my septum ring, it's not, it's just holding those tubes. So, that's what the black shit is in my nose, okay? People are asking for who I used for inspiration. I didn't use a specific person because it's my face. I actually didn't even show my surgeon photos. I kind of just explained what I was looking for. And then what I love about modern technology is, like I said, he kind of just edited that photo on like a big TV screen. And I told him what I liked, what I didn't like. And then we kind of like created my new nose together, which I thought was really cool. I didn't want to show him a photo of who's got a perfect nose. Madison Beer. She's got an iconic nose. I wasn't going to show him a photo of her and be like, "This is what I want," because I don't have that face. I don't have the same facial features. It just wouldn't work. So I wanted something that was special for me and my face. And that's kind of what he talked about, what he specializes in. He's like, no nose should look the same on every person. And that's why I do what I do and I'm good at what I do, is because I want to create the nose shape for you and your face. So I really appreciated that. So we kind of just like designed my nose together, I guess. Which is quite iconic. Why are you guys all asking questions about butt sex? This is about nose, okay? We can do a saucy episode next time. Calm down. See, I had mine done 20 years ago. Zero regrets. Thank you, Martha. I love that for you. Process with 2 kids. Yeah, that's honestly, my husband is an angel. He took everything over. He's the best. He's so involved. It also was quite hard because this is their fall break for Thanksgiving, so they didn't even have school to go to, and both my kids had strep. So, just incredible. David needs a raise and a blowjob ASAP. Sorry, honey, you can't touch my face right now though. Love you. I'm like, uh. Um, but the hardest part is not picking them up. So the other thing too is I didn't see him for probably 24 hours after because I didn't want to scare them. but then we kind of ripped the band-aid off and I just miss them so much. It's hard for me to be away from them and I hate like when I can hear their little voices and giggles outside my room. Like I just don't want them to think about mommy and like that I'm hiding away from them or something. I just get a lot of mom guilt when it comes to that. So I posted that video on TikTok. As you could tell, Stevie was not having it. Ziggy was fine. He understood because he's a little bit older. Within like 20 minutes, Stevie was totally fine and she gets it now. Now that my gauze is off my lip and she can see my mouth, she's like, okay, it's mommy, it's fine. And again, my cast is off in 2 days, which, oh my God, I'm so excited. Could not come sooner. But the other thing that was really difficult that I never really thought about, and my surgeon had warned me because he has three young kids, was he was like, don't have your kids sit on your lap because young kids will headbutt you. You know how kids will like throw their head back or like sit back? The amount of times I've been clocked in the nose by my children pre-nose job. So I was not about to risk that. So I had them kind of like sit next to me or maybe like lay on my legs where their heads kind of on my stomach so I don't worry about them like clocking me in the face. So that's been kind of hard, just being cautious, but I have so much help at home with David, and then my dad flew into town for Thanksgiving. So they've been such angels. So the hardest part is just the I think in the first like 24 to 48 hours, you definitely need someone there the whole time to help with kids if you're getting something like this done because the anesthesia, like I get knocked the fuck out from anesthesia and I'm so sleepy and tired that I'm not going to be present enough with my kids and they don't deserve that. Also, not being able to drive. I can't drive until Monday. Scott was my chauffeur today. We ran some errands. And then, like, the cuddling situation, you just have to be really aware of, who's coming close to your face. Because my kids will throw shit all day. Like, Ziggy was shooting his Minecraft Nerf gun, and I was like, if you get a bullet straight to my nose, I swear on my life. And that would happen too. Did you really have a mean high school girl pick on you about your nose? No, I just made that up. I don't know why people assume that. I do shit like that for clout. I could say way cooler stuff for clout than to make something like that up. I know people don't realize it because, I have followers now and I am a public figure, which is even weird for me to say. But I did not have the easiest time in school. I was very much bullied. Scott and I ran into someone at Target that I went to high school with. She graduated a couple years after me, and she was even talking to Scott about how bullied I was. That's not something that people realize. And I think when have a glow up or find success in the public eye, you think that that person was like the super popular, had all these friends, everyone catered to, grew up super rich. Like that was not my life by any means. So yes, it was true, and I was bullied immensely, not just about my nose, but about pretty much every aspect of my life. So yes, the answer is yeah, it really did happen. I also just like don't believe in making shit up to get social media attention. Like I'm turning 30 years old. I also know that people would try to come forward like that's a lie if I did make something up. So it's like, why would I? You know what I mean? Like it's just not worth it. Are you scared you're gonna hate it? I hate my nose, but I also fear that I'd hate a new nose. No, no, I'm not scared I'll hate it because even with the bandage on, like I can tell, if you can see from the side, like my bridge is exactly what I would want. And the fact that my tip is raised a bit, I'm not scared at all. I think at first I'll probably be scared. And that's what he told me. He's like, when the bandage comes off, your tip's going to be really elevated, almost like a pig nose, because it takes 2 weeks to drop. He's like, let the swelling go down, and then you'll see your full results. So I know when I get my cast off on Monday, it'll probably be a jump scare, but no, I'm not worried about my results at all. Did you do it because of society's beauty standards? No. I actually think that we are on a better route of beauty standards nowadays with social media because there are famous influencers now in every shape, size, ethnicity, different noses, foreheads, lips, you name it. Everyone looks a different way, and that's what I love about social media is you can find someone that looks like you, acts like you, that you have same interests in and similarities. The perfect celebrity movie business look is not in anymore, and I am so grateful for that because for a long time I was like, "Damn, there ain't no way I'm gonna make it in this world." I 100% did this for myself. I was on a billboard in Times Square and on Sunset with my old nose. Can you imagine what the fuck I'm gonna conquer with this guy? It's gonna be crazy. So no, I did not feel pressured. I've never been like I've worked with some of the best photographers you can name, like people that just do massive photo shoots, celebrity makeup artists. No one has ever made a comment about my nose, which I'm really grateful for. They might have thought it in their head, but they didn't say it to me, and I'm very grateful for that. So, could more opportunities come with a more snatched nose? For sure. I know how this industry works, but I didn't do it for that reason because I feel so blessed to have the success I do with how I looked before. And although I do think that looks unfortunately matter in this industry, should they? No. It should be pure fucking talent, sociability, work ethic, likability, engagement. That's what should matter when it comes to this world. But being cute can come in handy. So maybe this nose will bring me another billboard. Kidding. I'm like, kidding. No, but for real, I don't want people to think that you can't find success, especially in this industry, because you don't feel you look up to par. And that's just simply not true. Like I said, I have accomplished so much, things that I've never even dreamed about with my prior nose. And this was something I wanted to change for me because I've wanted to do it half my life. So that was ultimately what the decision came down to. And other people's opinions just don't matter to me, especially in this industry. And if someone doesn't want to work with me because I look a certain way, then fuck that brand. I don't want to work with them. Like, and they lost out on a good person that, supported them or wanted to work with them. It shouldn't be like that in this day and age. And I'm glad that our beauty standards are changing a bit and hopefully will improve even more in the future. All right, you guys, that concludes today's episode. Honestly, it's becoming so hard to talk because my mouth is so dry and I'm so nasally and congested. So, next episode, I will see you with my brand new nose. I'm so excited. I will record and document the whole thing for you guys on TikTok on Monday. So 48 hours. I cannot wait. But thank you so much for being here. I love you so much and cheers.